Have you ever wondered what really happens once you cross the age of 80? This is not just another birthday milestone. It is unlike any other stage of life you have known before, and no matter how much you prepare, there are certain changes that arrive, which every single person will experience sooner or later. Now I know the word change can sound heavy. Many people fear it. But the truth is these shifts are not simply declines to fear or losses to dread. They are natural transitions that can actually open the door to a richer and more meaningful stage of life. When you turn 80, there are 5 major changes that take place whether you like it or not. Some may cause you to worry at first, some may surprise you, and one in particular may feel profoundly liberating. Once you recognize it for what it really is, by knowing what to expect, you can welcome these changes instead of resisting them. You can move into your 80s with confidence and with far less stress. The years ahead can become not only easier, but also much more fulfilling. Aging is not just about losing abilities. It is about gaining new perspectives that only time and experience can give. These 5 signs act like a guide map leading you through your 80s with wisdom and with a sense of purpose. In this journey, you will discover how your energy shifts, how your social circle reshapes itself, how your relationship with time deepens, how your memory and thinking adapt, and finally, how an unexpected freedom begins to shine through in your daily life. This is not a story of decline. This is a story of transformation. Life in your 80s is not about hiding from age. It is about living with wisdom, authenticity, and truth. So stay with me until the end, because if you have ever feared growing older, the final change I will share may transform your entire perspective on what it means to age. Let us begin. Number 1. Physical energy and sleep patterns transform completely. The very first noticeable shift at 80 is in the rhythm of your energy and your sleep. Now this is important because most people believe something is wrong with them when this happens, but the truth is nothing is wrong at all. Your body is not failing you. It is simply operating on a new schedule that demands respect rather than resistance. Think of it as your body fine-tuning itself for efficiency. Here is what actually happens. Your circadian rhythm, that inner clock that controls your sleep, wake cycle begins to tilt earlier. Bedtime feels more natural around 8 or 9, and the evening mornings often begin as early as 5 or 6, and the times when you feel most alive and energetic tend to be in the morning and early afternoon. But around 2 in the afternoon, something very noticeable happens. A deeper dip in energy arrives, stronger than what you may have known before. This is not weakness. It is simply your body asking for a pause, and when you respect that request, your whole day feels smoother. At night, sleep becomes lighter. There is less time spent in deep sleep. This means you may wake more often through the night. But here's the key. That does not always mean your sleep is poor. It just means your sleep is different. Let me share Lucille's story. Lucille is an 82-year-old retired teacher. For years she worried because she could not stay awake past 9. She woke before dawn every single day and thought something was wrong with her. She even felt embarrassed about it. But once she learned that this was the new normal for her age, everything changed. She stopped fighting her body and instead worked with it. Lucille began scheduling her most important activities in the morning when her energy was highest. She wrote letters to friends, she read books, she went for gentle walks all before noon. In the early afternoon she planned her visits with family or neighbors, and right around her 2 o'clock dip, she gave herself permission to rest for just 20 minutes. The result was surprising. Far from making her weaker, these changes gave her more focus, more balance, and more joy than she had felt in years. The lesson here is very clear. At 80, your body is not shutting down. It is fine-tuning itself for a new stage of efficiency. You are not losing energy. You are learning to ride a new rhythm. So what can you do to make this easier? Here are 3 practical steps. Step 1. Pay attention to your energy peaks and valleys. Spend 1 week noticing when you feel most alive and when you feel most tired. You will see a pattern emerge. Step 2. Match your most important activities to your energy highs. Do creative or meaningful tasks in the morning, save lighter chores for when your body feels slower. Step 3. Create a calming bedtime routine that respects your earlier sleep cycle. Dim the lights, read a book instead of watching television. Give your mind quiet time before bed. The greatest shift here is not physical. It is mental. Once you accept that your rhythm has changed, you stop battling your body and start cooperating with it. And when you do, your days will feel smoother, more productive, and far less stressful. Number 2. Your social circle naturally evolves in unexpected ways. The second inevitable shift at 80 is in your relationships. Now, many people assume this is the stage when friends are lost, when social life shrinks, and when loneliness creeps in. But the deeper truth is very different. Your social world does not vanish. It refines itself. By this stage, superficial connections tend to fall away. You simply do not have the patience or energy to maintain relationships that drain you or fail to nourish you. Instead, you begin to move naturally toward the people who truly understand you and support you. Large gatherings may lose their appeal. Noisy parties that once felt exciting may now feel exhausting. Instead, the warmth of smaller, more meaningful conversations becomes more valuable. A friend you once saw every week may quietly fade away, but at the same time, someone who was just an acquaintance might rise to become one of your closest companions. This is not social decline. This is social optimization. Your emotional energy becomes precious and your brain knows it. So you begin to invest more deeply in the relationships that matter. Consider Eugene's story. Age 81. Eugene felt crushed when his longtime poker group dissolved. Some members moved away. Others faced health struggles, and the dynamic that had once given him comfort disappeared. At first, he felt his social identity had vanished. But then Eugene started volunteering at the library and a literacy program. There he met new peers in their 70s and 80s who shared his values and goals. Their conversations were rich and purposeful. They encouraged one another and built a sense of belonging. Eugene realized that even though he lost one circle, he had gained another. This new circle fit his present stage of life far better, and something else happened too. As his friendships became more focused, he found himself giving more attention to his family. His adult children noticed and responded with more love, more gratitude, and more openness. Eugene's life had not shrunk. It had deepened. So how can you embrace this social shift yourself? Here are 4 guiding steps. First, allow some friendships to fade without guilt. Not every connection is meant to last forever. Second, stay open to new relationships with people who share your current interests and goals, not just your history. Third, invest more energy in those people who leave you feeling supported and uplifted. Fourth, stop trying to keep the same social pace you had in your 60s or 70s. At 80, quality matters far more than quantity. The result is a social life that feels less like a performance and more like true companionship. Many people at 80 describe their friendships as the most supportive and honest they have ever had. You are not losing your social world. You are upgrading it into one that suits you better than before. If you are still watching and finding these insights valuable, comment below. The third great change that comes at 80 is your entire perception of time. Have you ever noticed how quickly the years seem to pass the older you get? In childhood, a single summer felt endless. But by the time you reach your 80s, decades can feel like seasons passing in a blink. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it a shift in time perspective. At 80, time feels both shorter and more precious. This is not something to mourn, but something that gives your life a new kind of sharpness. You suddenly see what matters and what does not. You stop wasting hours on activities that drain you, and you start guarding your days with care. Instead of filling your schedule with obligations that no longer serve you, you begin to choose with purpose. Think about Ruby. She is 83, and for decades she poured her energy into endless church committees, bake sales, and volunteer boards. Everyone relied on her, and she rarely said no. But deep down, she longed for something more. Her small backyard garden had always called to her, but she never gave it the attention she craved because she felt guilty about stepping away from duty. Then one day she woke up and thought, I only have so much time left. Why am I not spending it on what lights me up? So Ruby stepped back. She said no to the committees and yes to mornings with her roses and her tomatoes. Her family worried at first. They thought she was isolating herself. But the truth was, Ruby was more alive than she had been in years. She found peace in the soil, joy in the flowers, and meaning in the food she grew. What others thought did not matter anymore. This is the beauty of reaching 80, the joy of deliberate choice, the ability to say no without guilt and yes to what nourishes you. Instead of rushing, you begin to walk your own path at your own pace. You no longer feel the need to meet every demand, because you know the truth. Not every demand deserves your time. And here is the secret twist. When you stop scattering your energy everywhere, you begin to shine brighter. The people who truly value you notice the change. They see you living with intention, and it inspires them too. So if you are in your 80s or even approaching them, I want you to ask yourself this simple question. What do you want to give your precious hours to? What makes you feel alive, and what do you need to release? Because when you reach this milestone, every yes becomes a declaration of your true self. Now let us move into the fourth change, and this one may surprise you. Number 4, memory and mental processing. Adapt in fascinating ways. Yes, the brain changes with age, and you may have already noticed it. You may forget a new neighbor's name, or misplace your glasses more often. Learning something brand new may take longer than it did before. And at first this can feel discouraging, but let me share something powerful. Your brain at 80 is not simply losing ability, it is specializing differently. Instead of working like a recording machine that captures every detail, it shifts into a new role. The role of interpreter, connector, and meaning maker. You may not recall the exact date of an event, but you can instantly recognize the lesson it taught you. You may not memorize technical details, but you can see the bigger picture more clearly than those younger than you. Take Carlton. He is 84 and he spent his career as an engineer. In his younger years, he could memorize every technical spec of a project with ease. But now those details slip away. Yet, when his son faced a serious business dilemma, Carlton did not need the details. He immediately saw the underlying pattern. The same kind of problem disguised in a new form. His insight, shaped by decades of experience, was exactly what his son needed. It was not raw speed, but wisdom. This is the hidden gift of your 80s. Your ability to see patterns, to connect dots, to read people and situations with remarkable clarity. Short-term recall may fade, but your depth of understanding grows sharper. This is why many older adults are extraordinary advisors, mentors, and storytellers. Your brain is no longer chasing information. It is distilling wisdom. So if you ever find yourself frustrated because you misplaced a word or forgot what you were about to say, pause and remind yourself of this. You are not broken. You are transforming. The brain is simply prioritizing meaning over memory. And now we come to the fifth and final change. The one that many people never expect. Number 5. You discover unexpected freedom and authenticity. This is the most liberating transformation of all. At 80, you finally gain the freedom to live authentically. The roles, expectations, and pressures that defined earlier decades begin to fade away. The masks come. Often what remains is space to be your truest self. Constance is a shining example. She spent decades as the careful, cautious wife of a minister, always proper, always quiet, always supportive. But deep inside, She longed for color and creativity. She dreamed of painting and expressing herself boldly. But she held back, worried about what others might think. Then at 82, something shifted. She realized she no longer needed permission. She had already given so much to others. Now it was her time. Constance began painting, dressing vibrantly, and speaking her mind. She expected people to pull away. Instead, they leaned in. Her honesty, her joy, and her creativity drew others closer. Because when someone lives in truth, it gives everyone around them the courage to do the same. This is what authenticity looks like after 80. You stop living for appearances and you start living for truth. You do not waste energy on pleasing everyone. You give your energy to what makes your spirit come alive. Relationships deepen because they are built on honesty. Daily life becomes more meaningful because it reflects your true self. And maybe this is the greatest gift of aging. That by the time you reach 80, you finally become free. Free from roles. Free from pressure. Free from the need to impress, free to live as you always wished you could. So let us step back and look at the bigger picture. Turning 80 is often seen as decline, but in truth it is a transformation. These 5 shifts in energy, in social circles, in time, perspective, in memory, and in authenticity are not losses but gains. Your body teaches efficiency. Your friendships deepen. Your sense of time sharpens. Your mind becomes a wisdom engine. And your soul finally breathes freely. Your 80-year-old self is not diminished, it is refined, specialized for clarity, wisdom, and authenticity. Aging is not about losing who you are. It is about becoming more of who you have always been. Now here is my question for you. If you are watching this, what is one change in your life that has surprised you the most? Share it in the comments because your stories inspire others and help build a community of encouragement.